This is Deep Time Detective, and today we're solving a mystery: the first eye.
Have you ever been in, true absolute darkness? I mean, probably not. Your brain is a machine that's literally built to find light. But there was a time when the entire world was blind. And then, in what was basically a geological instant, a light switch got flipped. It's this incredible story of how vision didn't just change life, it actually built the world that you and I know today.
Just try to imagine this for a second. It's 545 million years ago, and you're floating in a warm, shallow sea. Sunlight is streaming down through the water, carrying this massive amount of information about everything around you. But for 3 billion years, all of that information, it just went completely unread. The universe was simply indifferent.
And then, for the very first time in our planet's history, a small piece of the universe became aware. This one single event would end up triggering an explosion of both violence and innovation. So what exactly happened when life finally learned to see?
To really understand the revolution, first we have to go back and visit the world before it all happened. So, welcome to the Anomalocaris period. The seafloor back then was this quiet, peaceful garden, basically a living carpet of microbial mats.
The dominant life forms were these strange creatures like Dickinsonia. You know, these soft, flat ovals you're seeing, just kind of lying out in the open. They had no shells, no bones, and crucially, no predators. I mean, in a world where nothing could see them, there was simply no need for any kind of defense. They were living in the final, tranquil moments of a completely blind planet.
So, how did that light switch finally get flipped? Well, the answer isn't some huge, grand anatomical leap. Nope, it all comes down to a single, ancient molecule that just happened to learn a brand new trick.
Meet opsin. This molecule is the foundation of every single eye on Earth, from an insect all the way to you. The best way to think about it is like a tiny loaded mousetrap just sitting there, waiting for one very specific thing to set it off.
And that trigger, it's just a photon of light. The whole process is remarkably simple and just brutally efficient. A photon hits, a molecule inside snaps into a new shape, and boom, a signal gets sent. That's it. That's the moment light becomes information. Evolution didn't have to reinvent this chemistry. It just got better and better at building houses for it.
For years, even Charles Darwin was kind of troubled by the complexity of the eye. I mean, how could it possibly evolve? Well, modern biology has the answer. It turns out, calculations show it only takes about 360,000 generations, which is a blink of an eye in deep time, for a simple light-sensitive patch to become a complex camera eye. It evolves so fast, it leaves behind no rough drafts in the fossil record.
The moment that first true eye opened, the peaceful Ediacaran garden became a battlefield. An animal that could see in a world of the blind was, well, it was like a god. It could hunt from a distance, and this one single advantage triggered an evolutionary arms race like nothing the world had ever seen before.
So who were the new rulers of this world? Well, up in the water column, you had Anomalocaris, a meter-long predator with some of the most sophisticated eyes of its time. And down on the seafloor, the trilobites reigned supreme. Their advantages were their hard armor and a true marvel of optical engineering.
Okay, get this. Trilobites didn't have soft, squishy lenses like we do. No, they engineered their lenses from calcite crystals, carefully orienting them to eliminate distortion. They literally solved complex optical problems that humans wouldn't crack until pioneers like Descartes and Huygens came along hundreds of millions of years later. It's just incredible.
But, for every winner in this new world, there were countless losers. For all those soft, defenseless creatures of the Ediacaran period, the invention of sight was nothing short of a catastrophe.
And look, this wasn't some slow decline, it was a slaughter. The arrival of vision, combined with new tricks like burrowing into the seafloor, wiped out an estimated 80% of all Ediacaran species. They were seen, they were hunted, and then they were gone.
So, to survive in this terrifying new world, life had to learn a whole new set of tricks. This is where we see the explosion of modern body plans. Creatures developed armor, they learned to dig, they got fast, they learned to blend in. The new rule was simple: if you could be seen, you had to adapt or die.
Now, all this ancient history isn't just some fossil story. It's your story. The very way that you perceive reality is a direct legacy of this Cambrian Arms Race.
We think of our eyes as this perfect window to the world, but check this out. If the entire electromagnetic spectrum was stretched out across the United States,
the tiny little slice that we call visible light, it would be thinner than a credit card. Bees see ultraviolet patterns on flowers that we miss entirely. Pit vipers see infrared heat. We are only seeing a tiny, tiny fraction of what's really out there.
So what does all this mean? It means your eyes were not built to show you the truth. They are a 500 million-year-old piece of hardware, fine-tuned for exactly one purpose, keeping a primate alive. What you see isn't reality. It's your brain's best guess, a quick reconstruction based on very partial data.
And that leaves us with a fascinating and maybe, a slightly unsettling final thought. We're all carrying around this visual architecture that was forged in a Cambrian sea, designed just to spot danger and find food. It's a powerful tool, for sure, but it's a limited one. So what else is out there, right in front of us, that we simply weren't built to see?
If you enjoyed this journey through deep time, like, share, and subscribe, and join us